Today on Van Haven TV, Jordan and I check out Henry's van. So, Henry's van has just left the workshop, and before it moves into the handover bay, I thought it would be an ideal opportunity to show the people of YouTube this van. It is a massive spec, TTRC, all the carbon trimmings. It's got big everything, but this isn't Henry's first van, is it?
It's not. So Henry's very lucky. He already has a Van Haven Caravelle, which he uses mainly for driving from Leeds, where he lives, all the way down to London and back. But his needs have slightly changed. Now wants a lovely van to whip around in day to day and also go away on the weekends with his family in. So he came to me and said, Jordan, I need to change my van. What can you do for me? Yeah. Let's build something special. So build something special we did. Awesome. And this is the result. Yeah, going through the process with Henry was very easy. Already had a good idea of what we do, but the difficult part was that he already had one of our vans. So how did we build it better? So really got to know him, really got to understand what he was looking for, how he was going to use it and where he was going to be going with it. Hence the piece that we'll see in the back. But the main part for me was making this van that little bit more special than his current van. So we took a lot of time looking at what the options were, thinking about what we could do. And then Henry said something to me which stood out a lot. So I'm a huge Porsche fan. And I said, Henry, what cars do you like? And he said, Porsches. And I said, Henry, I'm going to show you something. It's a bit out there, but hear me out. And I showed him my idea and he said, Jordan, we have to do that. So I did it. Awesome. And it looks insane.
It's never been done before here, has it?
No.
And yeah, very cool that you get the opportunity to work with a client who's on the same sort of plane as you. And to do something super different.
Exactly. As soon as he said Porsche, I thought, got it, because I've wanted to do these seats for ages, and finally we found someone to do it for.
And you touched on a really interesting point as well, how often, we'll find this a lot, people have their first van, and that is really used as like a testing bed, really. Because we talk here on the video all the time, every single week, about all the multitude of things that a van can do for your life, and people don't really, you know, they're like, oh, it's just a vehicle sometimes. And then after they've owned one and they see all the benefits and realise how it can do so much more than just an A to B driver, like his first van, that's when we can get sort of really in depth and really start custom building something to do all the extra stuff.
Exactly.
That's above and beyond just driving from one place to another.
And it's working out the kinks as well, because you know, he's already got a van that's doing a really good job for him, but then he's already thinking, well, if I had another one, I'd do this to it, or I'd do this. So his current van doesn't have all the carbon arches and bumper and everything on it. So he was like, can I have one of those? And I was like, yes, you can.
You 100% can.
Absolutely you can, Henry.
So from the looks of things, he started with one of our stock vans.
Exactly.
Short wheelbase, Indian grey, 204 horsepower, with all the trimmings, twin sliding doors, rear view camera, navigation system, etc., 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 of which we still have plenty available if anyone at home is looking to commission their own build.
We do.
So where did the influence from the exterior come from? It's insanely sporty.
Very, very sporty, but we also wanted to keep it quite stealthy and slightly under the radar, but it's one of those vans where if you know, you know. And you wouldn't look at it and go, oh my God, carbon, ah! But the moment you start getting closer to it, you think, oh wow, it's got carbon on it. It's amazing. So yeah, starting up here, we wanted to keep the grille gloss black, just fairly understated with a slight dash of the body color running through it just to break up that black a little bit. And then down on the lower part is where it starts getting fun. So we've got the satin carbon. Now we were going to go for gloss carbon, but we don't do many satin carbons, which I'm quite surprised about. So it was more of a me thing, really. I wanted to do a satin carbon TTRC because I haven't actually done one yet. So I spoke to him about it, obviously gave him the option of having it gloss, but we agreed actually satin would look really cool, and it keeps that kind of understated feel about the van without being too in your face and leery.
And what I really love is that although the colour palette is quite restricted, this is a masterclass in different textures. So you've got the metallic or pearlescent-y body colour, mixed up with gloss, mixed up with satin wheels, and then the gloss, those massive brakes I see behind there.
So we've got a forged big brake kit, and what a really nice touch that I like on the wheels. So the center pieces are satin, but then the outer rim is gloss, which just matches this mixture of textures here really, really well. So we've put VB air suspension on this van for a particular reason. Yep. So campsites are notoriously uneven. Yep. So with the VB air, you can self-level the van. So you park up, you're a bit yep. You can just press some buttons on there and the van will find itself on the level. So when you're in the back watching Shrek, you can be nice and
you're not going to
level. You're not going to spill your beer. You're not going to spill your beans.
Beans aren't going to fall off the plate.
No, beans on toast are safe with VB air suspension, guaranteed.
So can we have a look inside?
We can. This is where the fun really begins.
The seats are wild.
They are insane, aren't they?
Absolutely beautiful.
They are absolutely incredible.
What was the inspiration for the seats? You said Porsche related. It looks Porsche.
Yeah. So yeah, houndstooth is kind of a classic Porsche design. So you'd see them in a lot of GT3s, GT3 RSs.
And we've got a massive sound system. All the new gear from Focal.
Indeed it is, yeah. So Henry loves his music, likes his movies, so we put in Focal. So it sounds immense if you haven't heard it. Yeah. Have you heard this yet?
Not the new one, no.
Oh, we're gonna have to play something.
Because there's a new tweeter, new controller, and probably some new stuff behind the scenes in the amplifiers and crossovers.
Yeah. Indeed, and those are also in the back as well. Okay. So you've got proper surround sound. If you're watching a movie on the screen back there, you can have surround sound and really get immersed in the movie. So awesome. It's just mega.
Yes, Jordan, I cannot get enough of these seats. So you've gone for a 1+1+1?
Yeah, so Henry has children, so we needed to make sure we had Isofix on all of the seats and also top tethers as well. And also the 1+1+1 is just the comfiest seat setup, and you get more flexibility with it if you want to take one out for whatever reason.
And then when these fold down, it gives you a very clear entry into the back where there seems to be everything.
There's something special in the back, Burnsy.
Ooh, show me.
Something special. So, in the back of Henry's Megavan, we have an Wagon work and play system. And this is the best combi sleeper setup I've seen in the back of Council.
It does absolutely everything. And he does so many different add-ons, different trays. You name what you need to do, and we can hook you up with a different tray system for this unit.
Yeah.
It's magnificently designed, fastidiously executed.
Good word.
And just a great tool.
It's incredible.
And for any combi.
So let's have a look. So we pull it out she comes. You've got a proper kitchen hob sink setup on there. All of this plugs in to the built-in gas and water and electricity within the Wagon itself.
Very cool bit of kit. All of the electrics, gas, water, very cleverly hidden away. And what sort of power unit are we running in this van?
So we've got a lead battery in there.
Yep.
And that all runs and feeds all of this. And it also has a 240 hookup as well. So
inverter.
Yes,
Wi-Fi,
and an inverter, Wi-Fi,
television,
TV. It's
with
got everything.
DVD. That was an interesting choice.
Yeah, you can HDMI into it, which I think is what it would be used for most of the time. But for nostalgia, I thought I'd put one with a DVD player in there, because there's nothing like a DVD on a rainy day, is there?
Oh, awesome! Yeah, when you're going away, driving to the middle of nowhere, and it rains.
Take a DVD.
You can go into a charity shop, buy a £1 DVD.
Shrek 2.
Yeah, Shrek 2. You can watch Shrek 2 in the middle of nowhere, regardless of whether you've got 4G or 5G to stream stuff. Sometimes you can't be A good old DVD. So I've noticed, Jordan, that the sound from the DVD player comes through the speakers.
Yeah, I've done something very clever.
That's incredibly clever. So you've effectively wired 2 inputs to the sound system.
Exactly what we've done.
That's insane. So I can control the volume just by reaching behind me, which is brilliant. Without the van's stereo being on.
Indeed.
Which
so
saves
you can just use the big knob to control the volume.
Very cool, man. I've noticed some lights.
You have noticed some lights, and that's
where
because
we never normally put lights.
So we have a light in the halo roof.
Oh, that's cool, Max. You're gonna have to get up there.
I tell you what, I'll get up in the halo roof in a second.
You get up there.
But so Henry's children are going to be sleeping up there. So it's a nice night light for them. You can obviously turn it down and have different colours coming on it. You can put it into night mode, which I think it's in now.
Awesome novelty. And anything to help the kids motivate the kids to go to bed.
Yeah, exactly. They can stare at their nice halo.
So that Henry can chill out down here and watch Shrek.
Yeah.
Without children.
Exactly.
Jordan, I'd like to shake your hand.
Thank you very much, Mr. Burns.
Absolutely awesome bit of kit. Similar Henry, look forward to meeting you when you come to pick her up. What an absolute whopper. I love every single aspect of this build. And I'm very grateful as well to Henry for letting us show it on camera.
Yeah.
Because sometimes big builds like this do slip through the net.
Exactly.
And we don't show them as we like to.
No, and it's important to show stuff like this off, because as you know, there are certain builds that go through and you're just very, very proud of that build. You see it built and you think, yeah, that came out exactly how I wanted it to.
Wicked.
And this is one of those vans. So yeah, really proud of it. Nice. It's a beauty.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. See you next time on the Van Haven TV.
Bye.